say things that haven't come to pass.
We're going to do it.
Let's do it. Hola.
Hey, Patreon members.
Hey.
Hey, girl, hey.
Are we ready to start?
We're ready.
Let's do it. Let's go. We got it. Go, Andrea.
Hey, welcome to another episode of Family Looking Up. This is Andrea.
And this is Camille.
And this is Beth. Mm-hmm.
We are excited to be back for another episode. Today we're talking to Brad Barton. And he is a magician.
Oh.
I know. But mostly he talks about how we need to face the reality, how we can change our own reality and the things that we can do in our families to help accept the reality. So,
I keep waiting for someone to like throw a big sheet over my house and poof, farmhouse, 6,000 square feet. I changed my reality.
You'd be like,
oh, thank you. It was so magical.
But this guy's pretty incredible. He set a world record for the fastest masters, which is like the older age, in the mile.
Really?
Yes. Like he's legit.
Without magic or with magic?
Yeah, that's true. Is that really fair? Is that fair to win a
That's a good
world
point
record
for a
with
magician to do.
That's all I'm saying. It just sounds kinky to me.
He lost all credibility.
Kinky. Kinky.
Yeah,
It sounds kinky.
Not so much kinky, but definitely hinky.
Hinky.
Hinky?
Sounds odd.
Do you regret that word?
I do.
Hinky?
Right now.
Hokey.
Hinky is not a word.
Hokey.
Oh, I thought
Hinky
she
is
said
a little.
kinky.
She did, but then she changed it to hinky, but now I think she
Oh.
meant to say hokey.
I don't know, we kind of lost Camille today.
Oh boy. We're going to talk about fibromyalgia
I'm
soon.
just going to caress my microphone while I'm trying to gather myself.
All right,
again.
focus. Here we go. Okay. So anyway, I'm excited to talk to him.
Yeah.
But
That's
before
gonna
we
be
talk to him, Beth,
Ugh.
we had a listener send us an Instagram message.
Uh,
Adri sent us a message. Wait, was it
No, it wasn't. It was Katie.
Adri? Katie.
Our Patreon supporter.
Crap. Now I'm going to have to edit this dang thing.
Wait, sorry, Adri, we love you too, but it was Katie who sent it.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay.
All right.
Move
I'm
on.
sorry, Katie. I had the wrong person. All right. Well, Katie sent us a message saying that she would like to hear about doctor's visits and dealing with doctors that maybe are telling you to do things.
Or
and-
not telling you
Or
to
not
do
telling
things.
you to do things.
Yes.
It was, okay, now.
But first, I gotta say,
Okay.
it was hilarious the timing of this, just because yesterday Beth was telling this whole story about how when she went to her pediatrician and how upset she got about it, so the timing was perfect. So we
Perfect.
thought we've got to do an intro about this.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, Katie. And let's just preface. We are all married to medical providers.
Yes.
So let's just take a moment so that when we try to crawl into bed tonight, we don't get all the sass from our men.
Take a moment of silence to support
Okay,
them.
support. Okay.
Thank you.
And we'd just like to say they are wonderful. They are amazing. Medical providers are necessary and perfect and great, and we adore them and all that, okay?
And they're not magicians like Brad.
And they are just humans. Like,
Yes.
I do get miffed when people are like, I went to the doctor's today and they didn't find my small lump behind my knee that I didn't tell them about. And now I have, I'm like, okay, well, I'm sorry that they were not magicians and couldn't sense that. Or like dogs that sniffed you out. Like, they're human people. So,
They should try that.
I
That
get
would
it.
be fantastic to see a doctor
When it
trying to
does,
sniff it
sniff
out.
it out, like,
yeah.
There's a
Wow.
tumor. There's
I'm
something.
sensing phlegm.
So let's just get all that out of the way. But here's my rant.
Okay.
It is funny because I was ranting about this and the girl, and then Katie came through and wrote us a message. Okay, I went to the doctor's. My 4-year-old, my 1-year-old, 2 little boys, 1 female mother. There, I walked in. I had woken Preston up, who's 4, and he sleeps with the binky. Also, he has it lots of the other times during the day. I'm not pretending like I'm perfect, people. So he had his binky. I grabbed him out of his bed, put him in the car, went to the doctor's. I knew he was like 6 shots behind. And so I didn't even care. I was like, let's go. The second the doctor walks in, she like gets on his level and is like, aren't you kind of old for that? Take it out. Take it out right now and go put it on that table. And I just sat next to her and I was like, you're older than me, ma'am, and you're a doctor. What do I do? And I just sat there and Preston like looked at me and I was like, yeah, okay, buddy, why don't you just go put it on the table? Like, she's going to look in your throat and do a checkup. And so we walked over and put it on the table. And then we were in there for like an hour. It was 2 well checks and shots. And throughout the entire thing, she'd say, like, he is too old for that. And I was like, I know. Like, he's really old for that. I'm aware. And, like, we talked about it. I was like, I know he's too old. All my other kids were too old, too. And I have 5 kids. This is just a mechanism we use in this family. Some of my kids loved it more than others. He loves it. and I have a baby. And I said I tried to get rid of it, but then Pierce was born, and so Preston used to steal it out of Pierce's mouth and I just need to suck it. And we're like, you're creepy, kid. Honestly, you're freaking us out. And he would swipe it from baby Pierce, who'd start crying. It was a whole thing.
Yes.
And then throughout the whole appointment, like Preston like climbed up on the table, he put his hand out, and she's like, do not put that in your mouth. You can hold it. Do not put that in your mouth. And I was like, what is going on? He just kept looking at me. It was just a moment of like, this is what I kept thinking. You've done your job. You have informed me that he is too old. You have actually told me nothing I don't know, but maybe you didn't know that I didn't know that. Thank you for the information.
You're incredibly rude.
It can be, I thought that, but it could be bad for his teeth. I know all the reasons, but why for an hour do you have to keep bringing it up to me?
Because she's mean.
What do you do?
I don't know. I think her presentation was way, way off.
I would not actually do this, I don't
Okay,
think.
but
I don't think I would have the
In your
courage to do
dream,
it.
what
But
would you do?
I would look at her and say, your role is a doctor, not his mother. I am his mother. I am capable of taking care of him. You don't agree with the Binky situation, and I understand that. You keep your comments to yourself and don't talk to him like that.
I'll punch you in the throat.
I'll punch you in the freaking throat if you do that to him again.
Because, I mean, it's true. I think it is a fine line. Okay, now, this is specifically about a medical
Instead,
provider.
Camilla would be like, okay, man.
I'm so sorry, you're right, Preston, you're such an
Do you mind if we light it on fire right now?
This is the situation of a medical professional, but I think this goes beyond,
Way beyond.
into the world of people
Shaming.
expressing their opinions way too far.
Way.
Shaming.
Yes, shaming.
So what do you do even with just the average Joe? Like you guys know.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know the people
Oh, yeah.
who want to come up to you and say, he's big enough to walk. Why are you carrying him? And I'm like, what just happened? Why did you?
Why do you care so much
Yes.
about me and my space?
But what do you say? Do you just,
Yeah.
I always
think
just
that's
laugh
what
it
we
off
all
and then
do.
I rant.
But what do we want to do? What
I want
should
to
we
look
do?
at them and say, you go work on your life. Because you've clearly got some attitude issues you're dealing with.
Well, your shirt and pants don't match.
We got off of we took a train through the mountains for Ellen's birthday 4 years ago. And Hope was a little baby. She's a redhead.
Yes, she is.
She's a little baby. We get off in this mining town in the Colorado mountains. And it's a beautiful day. Beautiful fall day. And she is dressed appropriately.
Okay.
She has got all the clothing on.
Okay.
And a lady walks up to me and says, did you know that if she doesn't wear a hat, she's going to go blind because she's a redhead?
No one said that.
They said that. And I looked at her and I said, I did not know that. I know a lot of things, but that one I did not know. And she said, it's true because I know people it's happened to. She's a redhead. You need to go buy a hat right now. And I was like,
what?
we're not going to do that, but thank you so much for the information. All my other kids are going to go blind, apparently. I better let them know and get started on Braille.
She's going to enjoy her eyesight now, and we're
Yes.
just planning on it leaving.
We're just,
That's part of our life.
I'll
plan.
go get Ammon, and I'll go get Brigham ready for blindness.
That's so weird.
It's so weird. But people do have this, especially, can we just talk to the idea of,
Can we?
if you have more than 1 or 2 kids.
Oh yeah, they hate
You
us.
are
We're
just,
menaces.
oh my gosh. And it is interesting because you do come across a lot of opinion. Sometimes it's positive though, and sometimes it's negative.
Yeah.
When we went on a trip to Florida a few years ago, and we had 6 kids in tow, I thought we were going to get, because we had to go through like 2 different airports each way. I thought, oh man, the comments. But people were actually really
They were.
nice. When Hope started crying before we got on the last plane, and she was screaming her head off, and I didn't want to feed her until we got on the plane, because then she would be happy on the plane, I did get a bunch of really dirty looks from people. But I had this really terrific mom who was like 3 places back in line, who had 2 elementary school kids. And she walked up to me. She could tell that I was super stressed, feeling vulnerable. Wish that I could have controlled Hope, but you can't control an infant. And feeling really bad. And she walked up to me and she said, don't pay attention to all of the haters. They have no idea what they're talking about. If anyone actually had a baby, then they would never look at you like that. You are doing a great job. Just ignore them. And she walked away.
Ooh. And then she broke out in the
I
Taylor
do
Swift
too.
song, and she's like, haters gonna hate, and the players gonna play. And all the people in the airport synchronized. Shake it up,
Okay.
Yeah.
If we're talking about dreams,
Oh.
this is a change of subject.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
My dream is to be somewhere where there is a flash mob.
Yes,
that
yes,
would be
I
great.
want to be
That would
where
be a
it's
great
just
Let's
like this
create
great
one. Let's create a flash
No, but I
mob.
want
The
to.
three of us?
Oh, you just want to be there.
I want to be there. Like I just want to be walking in like
Ugh.
a major train station, and all of a sudden somebody starts dancing, and everyone's like, "What's that guy doing?" And all of a sudden, other people are dancing.
It's happening.
I watch flash mobs on YouTube all the time.
Yeah, it is very cool.
Flash mobs are
Very
fun.
cool.
I like a good flash mob.
I have a dream someday.
Okay, so what do we do about the pediatrician issue?
Oh,
Yeah,
What do we do about
okay.
that?
You guys.
Because we got to talk
didn't
to the
solve
fact
a
that
problem.
Katie wants
you
to know what we
Katie,
think.
I don't know what to do. This is what I think we need to do. I think we need to do the things that we actually tell each other that we should do.
Yeah.
Instead of just being like, I should have said this.
Yeah.
Like maybe just actually say it. I think that you have to do it respectfully.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because like you're going to a doctor
Well, because
asking
then you're
for help.
stooping to their level if
Yeah.
you're doing it rude.
Yes. You're going there asking for their help. They're asking for their opinion. And so I do think, like, I should have said, I understand your perspective. I don't think it's really appropriate for you to keep bringing it up to him. But me and my husband will talk about it. And hopefully he won't have a binky soon.
I
That's
think
beautiful.
that would
That
have
would
been a
have
great
right
way
in
to
it.
have
I
this.
say that.
Yeah.
And the pediatrician last year, who I took my 4-year-old in and said, he has strep throat. I have strep throat. My sister and her 7 children are coming to town. Please swab him and get him on medicine. And she refused. I should have said, I need to see another provider.
Yeah.
Instead, I left very angrily,
And
called
everyone
my
got
husband
sick.
and ranting. My sister came. All of her kids got strep throat. So it was like, what? Like we get so nervous and scared,
Yeah.
and some things need to be spoken of. Or some things, if your redhead's going to go blind, that does not feel like something we need to
It's
really
appropriate
discuss.
to laugh at that one.
That is appropriate. But like I'm just like I feel like pediatricians are so important, and they help find things that we may have missed as moms,
Yeah.
and they're great. But there
But
are
you do have to
times-
find the right fit.
And if your mom heart tells you,
Yeah.
like the second time I took Preston in for strep throat, I was like, I am leaving to the Bahamas. My mom heart is telling me something is not right with this kid. I need you to swab him. I do not care how much it costs. If you will not cover it, great. If insurance won't take care of it because you don't bless this, then fine. I'll pay cash. He has to be swabbed. Mic drop. It was positive. I knew it. I was like, I told you that kid has strep. And that was a year later.
Nice.
Anyways, but like I think that sometimes you have to stand your ground, or you have to find a new provider to say like, if you tell them truly like this is a problem, there has to be something else. Please do this or that, and they are just unwilling. Like that first one, who look, she absolutely would not. She refused. There was nothing I could say or do. She would not swab that kid's throat. She would not prescribe him medicine. Then I think I should have just taken him to a different doctor that day and said, I'm telling you, this kid has strep, and my sister's coming tomorrow. Please.
Yeah.
You know?
But I think they're speaking to a different thing here. Like, I think the first one, she was out of line as far as, like...
The binkies?
The binky. Like,
Yeah.
she was overstepping her grounds versus doctor versus parent.
Yes.
But I think when a doctor refuses to do a procedure, I think you can change providers. Like, you can change to a different doctor and say, hey, will you do this? But if they say, if it's not in their... If they don't think it's what is medically necessary, then I think they do have a right to say, no, I don't think I'm going to do that.
I don't like that, though. Why do they care? Is it costing them some money to stick a Q-tip down my son's throat? No.
But why... This isn't going to be on here. I'm going to debate you here.
You put it out there. Let the
I
word
think it
hear.
should be on there.
It should. Andrea's going to try to cut this out, world. Don't let her. You fight her. What do you say if you know that the kid has strep? What does it hurt the doctor to just test him?
Well, I agree. So if you really feel like it needs to be done, then
Yeah.
it's in your right to go find another doctor to get it done. But if she, as the doctor, feels like it shouldn't be done, then that is her medical training and decision, and she has a right to say, I don't feel good about doing it.
I just think it's a fine line. If it's something where it's like, I want implants and I want it to be a double K, and they're like, well, that is going to rip through your skin. Like, that is not even safe. That's not possible. That's irresponsible. Fine.
Uh-huh.
But if it's something like do a blood test, like something about this is really bothering me, like it doesn't have any consequences.
Yeah, I think you can always suggest it.
Yeah.
I think you
I
can
think
always
there's a
suggest
line though
it.
where some things it's like, no, I'm telling you to amputate your leg tomorrow is an unsound plan.
Right.
So it's just, but how do you know? There's a fine, there's a line.
I think you can always suggest and ask their opinion, but if they choose not to do it, then that is their decision as how they best practice medicine.
Right. Yeah.
And you can go somewhere else.
Right. Well, that's the thing is we can't force anyone to do anything, which is why I'm so offended by that pediatrician.
Yes, she was out of
because
line.
she was trying to force things. I don't think we can force anything, you know.
Yeah.
Even a doctor can't force you to go into the hospital.
Right.
So we can't force things, but I absolutely agree that as moms, we have intuition about our children.
Yes.
As part of our role, it's part of our stewardship. And so if we feel like something needs to happen and we're not finding a good fit in a doctor, we need to change doctors.
Right.
I agree.
Because I think every doctor is for different people. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I have I'm quirky about dentists. I've had a lot of dental issues, and so I'm like completely paranoid, and I get like really nervous about dental things. And I shopped and shopped and shopped till I found the right dentist, the right orthodontist for my personality. That's all that was about. I feel like I went to really good dentists, but I did not feel like they were a good fit for my hysteria about
there is
this.
something to be said for that, because
Absolutely.
I may love a dentist, and you may be like, no.
I don't think it has much to do with their ability
their
as much as it
competency.
has to do with the fit. And, you know, like I drive hours and 4 hours to get to an orthodontist because I found a really good fit. And so I think that as mothers, it's important to say, okay, this doctor will not swab him when it's clear to me he needs to be swabbed. So that's not going to be a good fit for me. She's too rigid. And I need somebody who will listen to me as a mom.
I need a pushover in my life.
I need a doctor that I can be the doctor.
I
and
want
she's
to
the mom.
control.
I need a doctor who will listen to me more as the mother and give some credence to that. And so this isn't a good fit, but that's fine. She can do whatever she wants. It just cost me money, so that's
it's
frustrating.
only money, which I have lots of.
Yeah, thank goodness I'm rich.
But
But
guys,
whatever,
this
right?
is like turned into a mini episode. We should just save this for a saving.
It is long.
Because I have something else to say about it.
Okay.
I am a little too pushy. I agree. I feel the need to walk into a doctor's office, demand the things I want, and I feel like they should give them to me. In general, I think that's true. I was married to I currently am still. We did
you
not
didn't get divorced?
No, not
Okay.
close.
I was
but
wondering.
we stayed together.
Yeah.
And so, I'm kind of used to when he was practicing in an office where I could kind of do that, right? And when he worked with all the other providers, they kind of were like, "Here's Dan's crazy wife. Let's just make it happen." So, for example, when I'm delivering babies, I do request things that the doctors are like, "Okay, like really?" For example,
Classical music.
a violinist in the room.
In the room, a cello and a harp.
I had been sitting in labor for 3 hours with Preston.
Okay.
That is too long for me. I do not want to be there anymore. I got stuff. So when the doctor came in to check me and said I'm at an 8,
She's got to go teach Zumba.
Yeah,
That's what it
yeah,
is.
that's
Okay,
true.
sorry. I'm sorry to
yeah,
interrupt.
I had to.
Yes, I know.
I was like, he's like, "You're at an 8, we're not ready." And I was like, "I will not sit here anymore. I am pushing." And he's like, "You're not dilated." I was like, "Well, I'm pushing." And I started to push the baby out of my body. And he was like, "What? Okay, just stop. Just wait. I just need some gloves on." Like, he was just like, "Are you really actually going to push the baby out?" And I was like, "Yes, I am not sitting here anymore. I am done. I will now leave." And so I pushed out Preston.
This is classic Beth.
That is classic because I was so
Yes,
perturbed. And I
classic
do
Beth.
think that's not the doctor's responsibility. If I'm making bad life choices, I want to tear myself open because I'm sick of sitting for another 3 hours. So
Well, he can give you his opinion that's dangerous.
he can say,
or
"Yes, you're
whatever.
not ready for
But
that."
when you're under his care, so I'm going to go back and I'm going to play on the doctor's side because I hear this from my
Because she's
husband
scared
all
of
the
her
time.
husband.
My husband's a physician. The thing is that a patient comes in and that's all fine and dandy when they're like, "Well, I'm doing this and I'm going to push when I want to push." But then when something goes wrong,
I
that
know.
patient
They
forgets.
want to blame the doctor
and
too.
then
That's
they
bad.
sue the doctor. And
Yes.
so sadly,
But
most
I'm
everything
a
that is
good
done is
person
because the
and would
doctor.
never do
That's
that.
what everyone says. They says, "I'm a
You
good
think
person."
I would sue the
I would
doctor?
never no, I don't think you would.
Andrea.
But
If
I'm
we don't
saying-
start making money soon, you might.
I'm going to make up things, reasons to sue a doctor.
But I'm saying everyone thinks that they wouldn't until
Until
something
they
goes
do.
wrong.
Yeah.
And then the doctor's like, "Well, she pushed when I told her not to. And guess what? The law doesn't care.
The law hates you.
And so everything they do, it's because they've had so many
I
bad
think
experiences that
it's true.
they
There are
have to
some
practice
things-
how they're taught to practice.
Guys, there's no real answer here.
Well, I think the answer is that you can't force people to do anything because you couldn't force the doctor to take measures that were dangerous, but he couldn't force you to not push.
Yeah.
So we just have to
It
have
was
that.
just
I think
we were just glaring each other down.
I
It's
think
like, don't
that
you
it,
push. I'm like, oh, I'm pushing. He's, don't you push. It was just a stare down.
I'm not pushing. I just feel
I'm acting casual. I'm just doing this. I saw it.
I gotta use a bathroom.
Hold on a second before I can say no.
Trying to keep it all in.
I think that just having the understanding that we can't force people to do things takes a lot of the anger out of it.
Yeah.
It's frustrating when we don't get what we want, you know.
That's
but
what this comes down to. I'm a toddler.
is.
I want what I want when I want it.
no, it is. It's really frustrating. When we had an epidemic of whooping cough go
Ooh.
through our town, and I happened to be pregnant at the time, and 2 people in my family caught it, but no one was diagnosing. Like, they were out. It was just a mess. Everyone had whooping cough. I had, like, my sister-in-law, who I spend all this time with, she had it. My 2 kids caught it. And I have a baby coming out of me soon. And you couldn't get the immunization or the shot for it because it was like, everyone's getting this. And you had to convince a doctor that it was really worth it to give it to you. And so...
Well, most people already have the vaccination.
Yeah.
Most people
Yeah.
have it when they're kids, so you don't need it.
Yeah. I don't remember. I don't remember, like, it's 4 years ago. All I remember is I was desperate to get our entire family medicine that we needed because Hope was about to be born. And I went to 2 different doctors. And the second one said, yeah, let's just do your whole family. So, you know, it's frustrating, but...
The first one was probably my husband.
It wasn't, if that makes you
Was it
happy.
my husband?
It wasn't your husband and it wasn't your husband.
Really?
No.
Wow.
No.
Oh, guys, this turned into a whole thing.
This is a big rant.
This was a big rant. So maybe this was.
I think
might be
it's a rant
bonus
that all
content.
moms, you know, need.
Yeah. We all need it. We just want to say it. You poor suckers don't have a microphone and a platform to rant about it on. We do. So we just take advantage of it. Next, we're going to talk about politics. We're going to
Donald
take
Trump.
it to Washington,
Beth,
D.C.
go.
Is he still president? When is the election? Who's even running? That is sad. Those are actually all accurate questions. So there's that.
So we'll skip politics.